You're live.
All right, welcome to the NASCAR Live Chat with Hamm, the Engine Man. How's everybody doing this evening? Today, of course, we're going to talk about the Darlington/Charlotte race that happened this week, and that was on. I just noticed that on my title I wrote NASCAR Darling Charlotte race. Well, you'll have that. That's the way I roll sometimes when I get in a hurry, because I'm actually running a little bit late, about 7 minutes or so. But I hope everybody had a great day, a happy Memorial Day. I mean, people say Happy Memorial Day, but it's actually, memorializing those who have given their lives the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms that we have here in America. And I know I had a great uncle, James Atlas Hamm, who was in the 401st Glider Infantry Division in the 101st Airborne, and he gave his life over, and he's buried in St. Lawrence-sur-Mer, France. He died on June the 14th, 1944. Tracy's birthday, but just a little bit earlier in the years. So, he's buried over there in the American National Cemetery, and he was originally buried in Bloisville, France, and then they interred him and moved him over to the American National Cemetery after the war was over. So, yes, those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. Yeah. All right. So we're going to go on and look at some of these comments, because I know we've got a lot of people on here already.
Everybody's just saying hello.
Yeah. Well, hello, folks. Hey, everybody. Hope you had a great day. Scott Trevison says, Happy Memorial Day from Daytona. Let's go racing. Yeah. So you can give us some updates on how the race is going. I know they're supposed to be racing. I know it's a little bit wet outside. We're here in Statesville, which is just northwest of Charlotte Motor Speedway. And it's, is it raining again? It was a little bit.
It was misting on the way here.
Pretty much misting. And it's, here, I'm going to turn you up a little bit there. That's better. What's up, Chad Hyder? He's out in Ohio. Talked to him the other day, because he's going to do a really cool thing. And I'm going to tell you about it here in just a little bit. But he's got him a new sponsor. It's Hamm the Engine Man on YouTube. Sponsoring his race car that he is working on with, I guess it's, here, I'll read you that here in just a little bit. So Terry Quinn says, if suddenly disappear, they are mentioning tornado warnings. You know what? They always have tornadoes out there in Oklahoma, it seems. She's out in the Broken Arrow, Oklahoma area. And we've got Kiki here in the studio with us, and Giggles.
She's actually on the video, too.
What's up? Yeah, we can see you on the video. Can you see yourself? So feel free to comment all you want there. And we got Tracy in here joining me today. I didn't do any guests or phone-ins or any of that stuff because, it's Memorial Day, and I didn't want to bug anybody with that kind of with this right here. Even though I know we're all just going to have a great time here doing a little chat about the race that we had Wednesday and yesterday. And I'm sure y'all were really excited to see the racing go back into action. I know Beer Man is down there in Florida. He's watching it all and putting down a few cold Coors Lights. The mountains are cold, isn't that right, Beer Man? So what's your pick tonight? Scott says. So Kyle Busch or the field, what's your pick? Oh my goodness, Kyle Busch. Yes, that's probably going to be the pick, I would say. But Chad says, I want to say the field, but my gut says Busch, LOL. Yeah, I will go with that too. So that's one for Busch. Anybody else got a guess on who's going to win the race tonight? It's the Xfinity race they're running at Charlotte. And, of course, you could still call it the Busch race. But it makes sense, the Busch race and Kyle Busch. So Kevin Schneider, I'm sorry, I'm butchering this last name. Schledderer. I love the legends. Schledderer. Martin and Petty, yes. Very good. I'm assuming you mean Mark Martin and Richard Petty. Oh, he lived in Level Cross by the Petty Museum. Very cool. I've been up there one time, but I haven't been in a museum. But I went through Level Cross. I went through where there's a little Richard Petty statue on the side of the road, and that was I was on my way to go see Kyle and them over at the whatchamacallit over there, where they have
the museum.
No, it's not the museum. It's the one that they named after Adam Petty after he passed away. They started
Victory Junction.
Yes, the Victory Junction. Yes. Sorry about that. So I was on my way to the Victory Junction camp and to see Kyle, and of course the King was there. And I took a picture of that statue and I showed it to Kyle, and he was like, "Yeah, that's the one that they're going to redo that apparently because they they were saying it's actually, it looks like a short Richard Petty, the little statue, and you probably know what I'm talking about there. And the King, yeah, he just kind of laughed about it, but Kyle thought it was pretty funny too that statue was a little bit short. It's not exactly a lifelike rendition, not like the one they got at Earnhardt over in Kannapolis. So Rachel says it is really cloudy here in Concord. It looks like it's about to rain. Go figure. So Paul, oh yeah, Paul's down in Port St. Lucie. Paul Rodriguez, and I'm assuming Kit's on here also. Blaney, Chad Howder says Blaney finally stopped the bleeding. Got a nice top 5 last night. Had some speed. He did. He was looking really good. And I think, there's going to be some great races ahead for him as he matures over the years running in the Cup Series. So it looks like I'm going to go over the finishing order, do a little bit of a rundown of the race, and we'll do some cold beer, warm beer. So get your cold beer, warm beer picked out for the Darlington race, which we had on Wednesday. So don't forget to hit that like if you like this video, and hit subscribe, of course, if you want to stay tuned for future live videos like this and all the other stuff I get into. So we're going to, you can also listen to me on WAME Radio 92.9 and 550, and check it out online, WAMEradio.com, and also dhamim.com for all of my notes and stuff from this show and links to other videos and such. So the finishing order for the Darlington Toyota 500 was Denny Hamlin won the race, of course. Kyle Busch finished second. Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Erik Jones, Joe Logano, Aric Almirola, Jimmie Johnson, Matt Dibenedetto, and Martin Truex. That was the top 10. And there was 5 Fords, 4 Toyotas, and 1 Chevy. And we'll get into yesterday's race next. But it looks like the Fords are actually doing pretty good. They didn't do good at the beginning of that race and about halfway through it. And then they didn't have the PJ because the rain had probably washed it away. So let's see. Clint Bowyer had the winning car, winning stages 1 and 2. He led most of the laps at 71 and maintained the lead in the final stage. But after 130, up until 134, when he was passed by Erik Jones, then on that 190, he clipped a wall and tore down, broke, whatever. He just hit the wall, and that was the end of his day. So then there was another thing that happened there, and I'm sure you saw this whenever Kyle Busch just flat came up and took out Chase Elliott. I mean, Tracy, did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So Kyle Busch is cruising along. They're in the straightaway, and next thing you know, Kyle just comes up, hits the back end of Chase Elliott, spins him out, runs him into the wall, and that was the end of his day. And so Chase Elliott gets out of the car and goes over there and puts up his hello sign with the middle finger. So, yes. And then, of course, Kyle says that was not intentional. But I went on Chase Elliott's Twitter and saw that he was not very happy about that at all. He actually used a really bad F word to Kyle Busch. But I didn't see any type of Kyle Busch didn't make any comments back. So there you go. How did this get turned? All right, so there we go. So Denny's, yeah, all right. So let's go on to who won that race. That was the Denny Hamlin, of course. You heard me say he won that race. And he stayed out on older tires, closing laps, and got his 39th series win. So enough of that. There were 11 flags for 54, 11 caution flags, whatever. So for that race, the cold beer, warm beer, we'll do some the experience of Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin at Darlington. Between the two of them, they have 89 victories. 5 of those combined wins at Darlington. Denny has 3, and Kevin has with 2. All right, so what do we got for comments here?
Chad just said tremendous posture Chase had while issuing the bird.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Rachel says sweet victory for Brad.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I'm just blasting through this Darlington race because that's just something, that was the one that happened Wednesday. They're getting back to the racing, from the second Darlington race, but Ryan Preece, he's starting on the pole, after the inverting Sunday's Darlington race, he started on the pole. And so he did it. He blew an engine and finished last. So there you go. So Chad Howder. Oh, let me go ahead and tell you about the thing we got going on with Chad before we get into the Charlotte race. So, and we're just going to, Darlington's over. We're on to Charlotte, and then we're racing probably pretty soon. So if the race is going on, the cars are rolling, Scott says. All right, very cool. So I'm sure Scott will keep us updated. I actually thought about having it playing on one of my other computers here. But I didn't even take my other computer out of the bag. I was going to have that playing in the background. but we had a technical issue here with Tracy's microphone. I finally figured out I needed to push this AB source to get her mic working. So that held me up probably about 10 minutes. Old Kudzu stopped by with his girlfriend, so he come and saw us for a few minutes. All right, so the Chad Hyder is he's starting this. Okay, I'm just going to read what I have.
He lives in Ohio.
He lives in Ohio. Our buddy Chad Hyder. He's come down to hang out in the shop last year whenever we had our little party for your birthday, Tracy. It was in June, and it was Tom Robinson's 50th birthday.
I think so. He's 49. He turned 49.
Don't think so, but okay. And then Hut Strickland.
Where is he anyway?
Hut Strickland was over there. I didn't send him the link, so he may not even be on here. All right, so then, so Chad's doing a thing. He said mechanical issues kept him from competing the other night. So he appreciates everyone who watched, but the points start Tuesday, and we'll be ready with the Ham the Engine Man, number 21. The Holland College 250 from Daytona is the first 16 regular season races, and it will begin at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday with the pre-show beginning at 7:40. So the live broadcast can be found at the series Facebook page, which is facebook.com/eMotorsportsCan. So I believe it's iRacing in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. So it's the Facebook page is eMotorsportsCan, meaning I'm assuming Canada. Right. All right. Is that right, Chad? So look for that Ham number 21 Ford, and maybe you can pull for that one. Maybe he'll get him a win. Let's see. Scott says warm beer to Kyle Busch, cold beer to Chase Briscoe in the Xfinity race. Yes. What's up, RD? He's up in Michigan tuning in right here. So I didn't get to share this on any of my social media. So if y'all don't mind giving it a share so we can have some of our friends jump in here that normally tune in with us. But
I text Tom the link.
Did you? Okay. Yeah, I totally, after I couldn't get her mic working, I kind of dropped the ball and didn't have time to share the link out. So, all right. So the Coke 600 at Charlotte race we had 4 Fords in the top 10, 3 Chevrolets, and 2 Toyotas. So, of course, Brad Keselowski won the race. If you stayed up late enough to watch it or early enough in the morning, I actually missed the end of the race, so I ended up watching it back on the YouTube's highlights. So Brad Keselowski won the race. Chase Elliott was second after coming back. I read somewhere that he ended up coming back to third. Okay, maybe not. But so Chase Elliott ended up in second place after he pitted. Well, we'll get into that. Ryan Blaney third, Kyle Busch fourth, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex, and Kurt Busch. Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, which is good finishes for them, and Chris Buescher, and also good finish for him. That's they ended up rounding out the top 10, and that was the first win for the 600 win for Roush Yates Racing Engine. So congratulations to my old workmates over there. That was the race. That was one of those elusive races. You know, for years Martinsville was elusive to us until we ended up joining up with Penske, and then Penske brought on the short track wins for us there. So Kurt Busch was on the pole. This is Kurt Busch's 28th career pole in the NASCAR Cup Series and his first with Chip Ganassi Racing. So on pace laps, Denny Hamlin lost ballast in his car and had to return to pit road. So he had lost 8 laps while reinserting and securing the ballast. So he finished 30th, 7 laps down. So Denny is facing a potential penalties, and I have an update for that. His update is Denny's crew chief and car chief engineer have been suspended for the next 4 races. No mention of monetary fines. Points are being issued, or probably point penalties. So a quote from Stuart Haas Fabricator: a 2 5/8 by 3 5/8 inch piece of 6 inch long, 2 5/8, piece of tungsten, which is 35 pounds and cost $1,800 And I actually brought a piece of tungsten here to show you, because this is what we used to use when we would balance a crankshaft. And it's a pretty heavy piece. I'm going to actually pass it over to Tracy and see what she thinks about it. But, you know, this piece right here is probably about 3.5 inches long, I'd say. And it's about an inch. And it's at least, I'd say it's probably a pound and a half, thereabouts. What do you think? Are you surprised by the weight? Okay. What do you think about that?
Let me see the difference.
Well, okay, so here's a piece of titanium, which is the extreme opposite. And this is what we would use like in valves and things that are really lightweight, things that are moving really fast, and you want them to be light as possible. But this was a bolt back whenever Robbie Gordon was driving for us. He started trying to introduce some of these lightweight type things, which NASCAR was like, you can't do that.
Oh yeah, huge difference.
Yes, so there you go. And I'd say that, the mass is about the same of the two pieces, the density, or not the density, but the mass. So
This
like if you
feels like it could be hollow, but
it does feel that way.
not.
So like, like let's say you had a cylinder and you put this down in the water and then you were able to measure how much of the space that it took up. These would be about the same, but there's about, this is a whole
Huge
lot
difference.
heavier. Yes. So there you go. These two pieces of titanium and tungsten, which also we call Mallory, which is all the heavy metal stuff. And we, as I mentioned, we would drill out crankshafts, drill out the steel, and we would press in tungsten to get heavier weight where we needed it in the crankshaft. If we're going to make the crankshafts, the counterweights smaller, that way they didn't have oil splashing through them as much. And tell me what you think about this. This is something that I've been thinking about doing on my YouTube channel, is making videos explaining the different types of things that we would do in NASCAR to make the engines run faster, I guess is the easiest way to say that, to get more horsepower, that kind of stuff. So if y'all are interested in that kind of stuff, I can actually start doing some videos like that. I've already started doing some where I put working on cars, working on putting oil, like the last one I did was I replaced the oil pressure switch on a pickup truck, things like that. But I could get really technical into some of this stuff and show you the parts and the pieces and where I'm building an engine.
Rachel says she likes the show and tell.
Okay, very cool. So I'm thinking about actually doing a totally separate videos, and then I'll keep doing the show and tell, of course. So, and if you have any questions on this stuff, feel free to ask me, because I kind of always take for granted that people either don't want to, or not interested in hearing about it, or they just already know it, that kind of stuff.
Or they don't realize that that's something that's important.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because who would have thought, there's ballast in the car. It's really their way of putting weight in the car, which keeps the center of gravity lower. Because you think about it, if you're driving around, let's say you're on a motorcycle, okay, and you put this piece, let's say you glue it to the top of your helmet, and you're going around a curve, it's going to want to pull your head that way, right? Mm-hmm. Right. All right. Well, what if you glue this to the underside of the motorcycle?
It's going to keep the bike centered.
Yeah, it's going to keep the bike pulling it a little bit harder to the ground. So that's basically what you do in the race car. You try to get all the weight down as low as possible. And on a racing, it's low and left, because you're going around a turn. If you had a lot of weight up top, the car's going to want to flip over. That's why we don't race a school bus. Because it's got so much top weight. Let's say a school bus.
Chad said you had him at Magnaflux.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I talked about Magnaflux last week, whereas, you're checking for cracks in metal. You could see all kinds of, you add the fluid that's got the dye in it. And as soon as you add the black light to it, all that dye goes into the crack. Well, you magnetize it, of course.
It's like a black light.
Yeah. You had to put the black light on it, and it shows that dye, and you can see all the little cracks. Yeah, stuff like that. So any questions you have, just throw them at me right now. So Alex Bowman won stages 1 and 2. This is going back to the Charlotte 600 race. And it was the longest race, most laps, and the longest race in NASCAR history, I believe.
How long did it last?
I don't know.
Hours?
It was hours. Yeah, of course.
I heard it didn't end till after midnight.
Yeah, it was late. I don't even know. Maybe I'll get to that. Maybe it's in my notes. I'm not really sure. Maybe I highlighted it. Maybe I didn't. Brad Keselowski, his win broke an 18-year winless streak for Ford. As I mentioned earlier, that was the at the Coke 600. The last win was with Mark Martin, and it is being said that after 30 years, this was Miller's final race with Team Penske. How about that? Oh, I guess what a way to go out, huh?
Dickie says he's really hungover.
Oh my goodness, seriously hungover from last night. I thought you might have been hitting the sauce a little bit.
Hitting the sauce.
Yes. So Chad says, is weight even on road racers then, or higher road races then?
Is way even.
Oh, even. Yeah, it's pretty. Yes,
Let me
I'm sorry.
decipher things for him.
Yeah. On a road race, and of course there's different tracks. Some have more, the more hairpin turns that go left and stuff like that. So that's where, the road racing, it makes it a little more exciting as far as it makes it more challenging to get in the car balanced out for sure.
Howdy, Tom.
What's up, Tom Robinson up in Indiana? He's up in Linton, right?
Is it Linton?
Linton Fire Department. What else? There's another.
Oh, I always get it confused. I call it something else usually.
Lyons.
I always call it Lions.
I think he lives in Lyons, but he works for the Linton Fire Department, if I'm not mistaken. There you go. So Rachel, Paul Rodriguez says, Rachel wants to know why Charlotte is considered a Chevrolet track. Oh, well, I'll tell you why, I think. Because Hendrick Motorsports is right across the street from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So that would be number one.
Oh.
Number two is it was Lowe's Motor Speedway. I don't know if it's still Lowe's or not. Or is it just back to Charlotte Motor Speedway? Who was the headlining sponsor for Hendrick Motorsports? Lowe's, right? Just saying. I mean, I'm, just putting that out there. That for so many years. I mean, look how many times Jimmie Johnson's won there. I think he's won there 8 times, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a lot one year he won.
Yes, and then he's won almost that many championships.
You're right. He lives in Lyons, works in Linton.
All right. I know a little bit about my buddy there, Tom.
Yo, talk every day. You should.
Just about, yes. Okay, so yeah, Chad says it's back to Charlotte. But yeah, it was Lowe's Motor Speedway for so many years. So I'm just kind of speculating, but I just always had that feeling every time Jimmie Johnson won in that Lowe's car. I'm like, of course, the Lowe's sponsor track.
Hey, Darla.
There you go. What's up, Darla? Glad you can join us. Hope y'all are doing well. And I don't guess you have to worry about getting cold up there, but I know you've been getting some rain just like we have here. So Jimmie Johnson was disqualified from second place, so he moved back to 40th place, lost 39 stage points and he had gathered during the race. Falls from 11th to 15th in the point standings due to issues with rear alignment. Do y'all call that cheating? Maybe.
So apparently the race was 5.5 hours.
5.5 hours. Okay. There
It's
you
a
go.
long time.
That's a long race.
No wonder Dickie's hungover.
I didn't. Well, that's probably true. There, I didn't quite make it till the end of the race.
No, I think we went to bed at 10.
Man. Yeah,
I
it
think
was
we
something
went to
like
bed
that.
early.
Yeah, for sure. Chad says it's 90 today up there in Ohio.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. It was 72 here today.
Was it? Okay.
I think it got up to 72.
It didn't look like it was going to be warm when we walked out, but it was actually a little bit humid because it was moist. It had been raining overnight anyway. NASCAR announced there would be no practice or qualifying for any series at Bristol, Atlanta, Martinsville, or Homestead for any of those races. Excuse me. Actually, let me go over the point standings right quick. So leading in the points, there's 5 Fords, 2 Chevys, and 3 Toyotas. That'd be Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Busch, Aric Almirola. So rounding out the top 10 in the points. And so, Kiki, who do you pull for now? Is it still the M&M's car?
The M&M's car.
Yes, the car, not the driver, just the car. There you go. I just realized I probably could turn some of these other mics off to keep from having an echo at all. All right. Yes. All right. Oh, I did it. All right. Try that, Tracy.
Is that better?
That's better. All right.
That headset was giving me more of a headache, so I can hear you just fine.
Yeah,
I don't need to hear myself.
Yeah, I got rid of some of the echo. I probably should have done that to start with.
I already know what I'm going to say.
What are you going to say?
I don't need to hear it, too.
Echo. All right. So, yes, that's... So anybody have any comments, any cute questions or any of that kind of stuff?
Oh, gosh.
So,
Paul Rodriguez says it was 73 in Florida today.
73 in, wow, South Florida.
So that's crazy.
He's down there in the Port St. Lucie. Dickie says, I took the kayaks out for 2 separate floats yesterday. When I got home, it was Coke 600 time. And on top of that, I had to help some friends move furniture today. I am about whooped. Yes, I know about that, moving the furniture. Lord have mercy. I did that yesterday morning.
To help your sister who helped us when we moved.
Oh, I get that. I get it. But it was the pain was not having the storage unit ready when we got there. And
The
never
good thing
did.
is that you only had to make one trip.
Yes. Oh, so at the end of the Charlotte race, Chase Elliott had the lead with 2 laps to go when his teammate brought out the caution. His teammate brought a caution. So Chase was called to the pits as the other drivers running around him on old tires, and it was thought that the others were going to pit. However, Brad Keselowski and Jimmie Johnson did not, and after taking on new tires, Chase was only able to rally back to 3rd place. That's what I thought. I'd seen he finished
well, Scott
3rd.
says on here Kyle Busch is up to 5th, and Tom says number 98 is in 4th.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'd say what is this? Maybe my notes are just all whatever. All right, so he says the 98 is up to 4th. Huh.
Yeah, 98 is up to 4th, says Tom.
Okay, so what I have here, are you talking about the point standings?
Honey, I don't know. I'm
I
just
don't know
reading
either.
what Tom has said.
All right.
Blame Tom.
Oh, there you go. 98 is 4th. Okay. Well, I don't know what these points, this points come from anyway. So, all right. So it's the Xfinity race. I still want to say Busch race all the time. Yeah, Jimmy's team got caught. LOL. Tom says yes. That's the old. All right, so yeah, Xfinity race, Busch race. Yeah, I just want to always say the Busch race because that's just what I was used to.
And that's what Chad says, Busch race.
Yeah, that's what it's always known as. The Busch Series and the Cup Series, or the Winston Cup.
Yeah, Dad made all the headers for the Winston Cup.
Yeah, the Winston Cup cars, which was the title sponsor for.
He would take a piece of metal this big and grind it down.
Yep.
I mean,
cool.
I know it's not grind, but I don't know the technical term.
Yeah.
What would be the technical term?
Mill it down, yeah.
Mill it down
Yeah.
on the lathe.
Well, yeah, the lathe would be for turning round parts, basically.
It would be spinning.
And the mill, yeah. Well, you can make round parts in a mill too if you had like a turntable, but yeah, the mill is just got the spinning head, and then the lathe lays down flat and like a lathe that you turn wood or something like that in.
Yeah, he would take hours to make just one.
I'm sure he used the mill and the lathe because you'd have to make the part of the headers that bolts to the heads.
I don't know. We should have Dad do a phone in, I think.
Yeah, we should do that. Get him on the phone right now.
And Dan, my brother.
Yeah. Anybody wants to call in, just send me a message and you can call in right now.
You want me to text Dan?
Sure. He probably won't answer though.
You
Put him on the spot. Hey, Dan, give us a call.
Dan, you want to be on David's race right now?
Yes. All right, so I got some more notes here. So NASCAR News has announced that there will be, I already said that. So this was the first Wednesday race since the July of 1984. Never in the history of the sport has NASCAR ever ran the same track for 2 points paying events in such a short time period. I mean, so yeah, congratulations to Chase Briscoe on his win in the Xfinity race. And, you know, he had some disappointing news right before that win that his wife had a miscarriage. And, you know, it was pretty sad for him. And I don't remember how far along she was, 2 or 3 months or something like that. It was, yeah, pretty sad for him. I had him on the radio, I guess it's been last year or the year before. And I had him on here interviewing him. So, yeah, Scott's doing some cold beer, warm beer. All right. So, Scott says, where you at? Warm beer goes to Alan Gustafson. Cold beer to Christopher Bell for the save of the day. He looked like he was going to spin out. I mean, he got like all kinds of sideways. Must have been some of that dirt tracking he's got in him because I know he's run well at the Eldora. Yeah, so she was 12 weeks along. She was 3 months ahead. So, yep. But yeah, I could do, maybe I could send Chase a message sometime and have him to call in. But yeah, we were going to do some call in or guests or whatever. But as I mentioned, I didn't want to do that we're doing the Memorial Day. Everybody's either spending time with their family or doing stuff like that. So I just didn't bother this time.
Paul Rodriguez says you don't see lower control arms break on a race car. Ask Clint Bowyer.
Is that what happened to Clint? Because I know he hit the wall pretty hard with his right side there. So, yeah. So
the Xfinity race is running right now.
Okay, yeah. So cold beer, warm beer. We'll do some cold beer for Brad Keselowski, of course. That marks the Coke 600 off his bucket list. And he gave Ford their first Coke 600 win in 18 years. And I will say, Brad Keselowski said that if he won, he wanted to get the pole for the Daytona 500, and he wanted to win at Indy. If he did either one of those, he was going to come to the shop and give us $10,000.
My brother's driving home from the beach right now.
Oh, nice. So he can talk on the phone driving down the road, right?
He says, I'm driving home from the beach. I said, oh, you can't text and talk? I mean, drive and talk?
He can drive and text, but he can't text. He can't call him. I'm just kidding. All right, so Ryan Blaney came at cold beer for him. He came in third place, which was his second best finish in 2020 since Daytona, where he finished second. Kyle Busch overcame a speeding penalty to finish fourth. Kevin Harvick now has 12 consecutive top 10 finishes dating back to the last season. And Christopher Bell, as Beer Man mentioned, got his first top 10 finish after he saved it. The day. Warm beer for Chase Elliott, who had the lead with 2 laps to go when his teammate brought out the caution. Chase was called a pit road. The other drivers driving around him on old tires. Yes, so he was brought in, and that was that for him. So Paul says Briscoe really wheeled that car to beat Kyle Busch. Yes, that was one of the best parts about it was he beat Kyle Busch too on his, what the races that he's won so many of there in that Busch series. Rachel says you can tell Brad misses Miller Lite as his main sponsor. I hope it comes back for him and Brad stays with Penske. Yes, wouldn't it be something if, let's just say, Brad decided to go to Hendrick Motorsports and took Miller Lite with him? Wouldn't that be something?
Sorry, I was laughing at my brother.
That'd be a slap in the face for the Fords, wouldn't it? What he says, they don't want to call in on there.
He says probably poor service.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he can text, is because he's got poor service.
I think
I told him, I said, I understand it's short notice and putting you on the spot, so next time.
Tracy's brother's got a little stage fright. What about you, Tom? You want to call in? Scott maybe call in and talk about the race that's going on right now. Depending on how many beers, right?
Rachel says you can tell Brad misses Miller Lite as his main sponsor.
Yeah.
He hopes it comes back for him, and Brad stays with Penske.
Yeah. That's what I was reading saying about what if Brad took that sponsor to Hendricks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Rachel says, I can't see Brad going to Hendricks. You know what? I don't see it either. I know that's come up several times. People have mentioned it, but I can't see that. Yeah, so Dickie's like, all right, stop saying beer. Okay, I won't say it again because he's had quite a few yesterday.
Needs water or Gatorade.
Hey, you need to hydrate there, brother. So Scott says, I think John Hunter Nemechek might go in the 48 next year. Well, you know what? That would be a good fit, I think. And I know that Hendricks is apparently restructuring, kind of like he's got these young guys coming in, kind of like he did, with Jeff Gordon coming in, Jimmie Johnson coming in years ago. And it usually works out good for him. He knows it takes a little bit of time to get them experience and get them to start winning. So Tom says there is a lot of speculation that Brad K is not going to be in the number 2. He talked a little bit about it, but he said there are lots of things that have to come into play, like sponsorship, et cetera, et cetera. Yes. So if anybody wants to do a call in, just you got the number, give me a call. And you can come right on and talk to us.
I don't think they have the number, but they can text you and you can give them the number.
That's right. So yeah, Rachel, you want to call in? Let's see, Tom or Dickie Dennis.
Terry Quinn can call
Trevison. I don't know. I wonder if Terry's got a phone. I mean, I say that meaning I don't know. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Let's see who else here. Chad Hyder, you can call in and talk about your race coming up. Ooh.
Breaking stuff.
I know, I just unplugged that. Oops. Let's see here. Chad, I'll send you the phone number.
Yeah, Chad. You'd make a good one.
Yeah.
We haven't had you on the show before.
That's right. There you go.
Read
I just sent
your phone.
All right, Chad, I just sent you the number. So you just give us a call and we will put you on right now.
Even Tom wants to hear from you.
That's right. So Scott says, didn't Joe drive for Hendricks? Or Tom says that too. He did actually drive some for Hendricks. He filled in.
Chad says he drove Chevy before was in development with Hendrick. Doesn't seem too far off if he's looking for retirement in the next few years.
Right.
Home again deal.
Yeah, I just don't see. Yeah, I could see John Hunter going to Hendricks, but I don't think Tom's saying that Joe's going to go to Hendricks. I think
He didn't say specifically.
no, he's just saying that'd be a connection right there. Yeah, it would be for sure.
How can you tell if he's calling in?
It'll flash over here. The light will go.
It's blinking.
Oh, there we go. All right. Hello. Who we got on the line with us?
It's Chad.
Oh, there you go, Chad. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
I will have to put my headphones
Great,
on.
man.
Hey, Chad.
Hello.
I would say it's been a long time since I talked to you, but actually it was that yesterday? Saturday.
Yesterday, if not this morning, maybe too.
Well, no, actually talking on the phone. That was Saturday when I talked to
you.
you.
Oh, yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep. Saturday. Yep.
Saturday, yeah. Man, the days are just, since I retired, the days just kind of, yeah, today is Monday.
Feels like it's Sunday.
I kind of took the day off. I worked on a mower, and that's about it. A little bit of a lazy day. When it's all dreary and yucky here, so I'm just like, I don't really feel like doing anything. So, yeah, everybody, we got Chad Hutter on the phone with us, and Scott Terrifson says, hey, Chad. And
hey, Bearman.
Yeah, so Beerman down there, he's a little bit far away from you right now. He's down in the Daytona area.
Yeah.
And you're in Ohio. Whereabouts in Ohio?
Dayton, Ohio, so about an hour north of Cincinnati.
Wow. So you're on up near the Canada area.
Ish, yeah.
Ish. You didn't say
did you? A lot closer than you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So are you near like Toledo?
2.5 hours from Toledo.
Oh.
Straight south.
Okay.
Yep.
I've been on the Ohio Turnpike. Took that over.
Yeah, up that way, yeah.
Took that over to 75 and hit it right on into Michigan.
I went to Apple Valley.
RD Ford Country.
In
Apple
Ohio.
Valley. Apple Valley. You know where that's at, Chad?
Apple Valley, Ohio.
No, I'm not aware of Apple Valley.
Yeah,
you sure
it's a resort.
I'm
positive.
It's a resort.
Yep.
It's one of those.
Yeah, I definitely don't know.
All right, so tell us what's going on, Chad, with your with the it's iRacing, right? Is that right?
So it's similar to iRacing. It's actually on a PlayStation, so it's considered a console-based competition. But short answer, what it is Holland College up in Prince Edward put out submissions for drivers. Obviously, the first 40 that submitted an application, they would review it, and then you had to take a driving test. So we did a 100-lap race at Richmond with all the difficulties turned up. So the fuel burns off twice as fast, the tires burn twice as fast, and it's a default setup. So we're all racing. It's basically like an IROC series. If folks remember the IROC series, everything's pretty similar. So the better drivers have to figure out how to outdrive everybody else. Anyway, so it was 100 laps at Richmond, and then we did 100 laps at Charlotte. I won the Charlotte event, so that was kind of like the next day they were like, hey, you won Charlotte, showed great car control, you're in if you want to pay the fee and all that. So I paid the fee, and then they had some preseason races, and we did really well in those. Average start of second, average finish of third. And so the season officially starts Tuesday at 8. We're going to be running all of our races are 50% distance, so they're not full-on races. But with everything turned up difficulty-wise, it simulates an entire 400 or 500 or 600-mile race. So there's actual sponsors involved, like yourself, Dave.
Yeah.
There's Pepsi, Subway, Domino's. All of our races are sold out, so there is a prize fund for all of us based on your finishing position and how you fare in the championship hunt.
And where would somebody go to watch this, or can they?
Yeah, so every about half an hour before the actual event goes live, we get the YouTube channel to our Facebook pages, and then we just share it out like a watch party.
Oh, I gotcha.
So, yep. So around 8 o'clock every Tuesday, if there's nothing else better to do, if you guys don't mind watching some guys virtually live out a dream, then head on over to my Facebook page and just Chad Eider, and you can watch it live right there.
So you post a link on your Facebook page?
I do.
Good.
So that's tomorrow evening
At 8.
At 8 o'clock. And
yes, sir.
You'll post the link on your Facebook page, and if you don't have his Facebook, go to facebook.com and it's /E Motorsports Can. I guess, does that mean Canada?
Yep.
Okay. E Motorsports Can.
So Beer Man's gonna watch. He said,
yeah, we had our
watch
Busch
tomorrow.
Clash event last night, and it didn't go very well for us, but we did have over 1,000 viewers, so that was encouraging for considering what it was.
Oh yeah.
So we're just hoping to keep building the brand. Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
So we had some comments here. Beer Man. Oh, well, okay. He says, Tom Robinson says, you mean you got money out of Hamm?
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Well,
No.
not exactly, but I did offer. That was another story, but so yeah, Scott says I will watch tomorrow. Share the link. Yeah, and you probably won't have the link until after starts.
He says 30 minutes before the race.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, about 30 minutes prior, I'll get some information and be able to post it
so
for all those interested.
What you can do, if you share the link and then just like tag me in it, tag Scott Trevison, and tag Tom Robinson, like you can highlight our names in it to where we can see it. That way and I'll make sure I watch, but I'm just telling you that's something that I don't mind you doing. That you can do that every week or whenever. So that'll be good.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we can share it and we can get the word out and get some more people watching, because that's really interesting. I enjoy watching that, actually. I mean, especially on the game console. Is that a PlayStation 4?
Yeah, it's a PlayStation 4. And in addition to those races, we have a live Discord chat, so they can actually eavesdrop on us talking to everybody. On the pace lap, they may talk to somebody, or certainly after the race, they'll do an interview. So you can hear a lot of us acting like a bunch of fools.
Oh, okay.
But it is entertaining sometimes, yeah.
Just don't do a Kyle Larson thing.
No.
Oh,
Nope.
I know, man. That's crazy. So, and also I can share it on our NASCAR Country page. So, Terry Quinn, I'm sure she's listening now too. She can, put that on check out our NASCAR Country on Facebook, because we always posting stuff about NASCAR racing, and we'll share that on there too. Yeah. So get you some.
Well, I appreciate the support from everybody.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. What else going on? How's the weather up there in Ohio?
Yeah.
Finally got in underneath 80 degrees, but it was pushing 90 right around 1 o'clock today.
Wow.
It's like the first dry day we've probably had in about 10. So it's been, like you guys, it's been dreary, and all your days run together.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's finally dried out and then it's hot and probably humid because of the humidity coming out of the ground.
Absolutely. You see the steam coming out of the yard.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. So Terry said you can tag her in it also, and then she'll share it. So Scott Terrison says your own eraser. Eraser, I guess he means. Yeah.
Eraser, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool stuff, man. If you can't, if you don't have the opportunity to do it in real life, you might as well do it in the, what do you call it?
And you won't suffer injuries.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Oh,
I did fall out of my office chair a couple weeks ago.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, that's not good.
Dickie Dennis says
broke a
tag him
spring.
also.
I broke a spring in the steering column.
Oh, no.
Oh, I got you.
We're good to go, though.
Because you're racing like that. I see what you're saying now, yeah.
He was getting into it.
Yeah, tell him again what Dickie says.
Dickie says tag him, too. In your thing.
Yeah, so there you go.
I appreciate it, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, so when you headed back down to North Carolina? Well,
oh, man. Well, it sounds like you guys are going to Scott's place, right, in June? So
yeah,
we'll maybe sometime in the fall, maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah, because we were talking about doing that party again around June the 14th, but now we're headed out of town, down to the Flow Rider. So it'll be a good
Yeah,
time.
I know. I talked to Rusty Adams for a little bit too, and he keeps trying to get me to come down there. So
Oh yeah, cool.
certainly another trip to be made. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be a good
Scott
time.
wants to know what number you are when you race.
What else? What other number
Oh yeah.
would he
So
be?
Well, not
so
like
what's
what's your phone
I'm
number?
actually driving the 21 Wood Brothers car.
21 Wood Brothers.
That's right.
Yep.
That's his
Yep.
favorite,
You know,
or that's his.
we'll have Hamm's.
Yes. Ham the Engine Man, right? Or D Ham I
That's it.
Am. I guess it's they kind of go hand in hand. It's my YouTube channel is D Ham I Am, and I kind of stuck with that because that's I guess the brand, because like on my Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, it's been D Ham I Am. So I was like, well, I can't really change it, so I'll just put my podcast will be Ham the Engine Man, and then I'll put it on my header for my Facebook or YouTube. It'll be Ham the Engine Man. So there you go.
So during our broadcast, at the top they'll have a driver scroll, and you'll see Ham's namesake all over it.
Oh, my.
Very cool, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that. That'll be
Yeah,
all right.
It'll be good. Of course,
Yes.
I don't get to see it till afterwards, but I'm sure it'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to watching that. So that'll give us something to do tomorrow night. We'll be watching. All right.
Yeah.
Kiki, you're leaving?
Appreciate it, guys.
Bye, Kiki. Oh, we're saying bye to Kiki and Giggles. She's got the parrot.
Oh,
She coming here to watch us. So you can go back and watch, or if you're not watching already. But yeah, so yeah, thanks so much for calling in, Chad. If you got anything else to talk about, you want to talk about the race at all? What was your take on it?
you know, so our clash race fell right in the middle of that first rain delay. So I was kind of in and out of it, and then it was still raining when they were finished up, and you know, it certainly looked like once you built some momentum, you had to take the pass because it would take 5, 6, 7 laps to generate another one. And once that PJ stuff wore off, it seemed like the better handling guys figured out, you know, how to get around there better.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Which is why Blaney got to the top 5, I think. So, but it looked sporty, it looked racy, and I'm just glad to see actual cars back on the racetracks again.
Yeah, I know it's a lot different, isn't it? It's a lot better than the old. Yeah, so it sounds like you got some birds in the background.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
I was like,
Sounds like
Giggles,
he's outside.
Yep.
Giggles is left already. Jeez.
Yeah, we got a nice nest in the tree behind our yard, and about twilight, so they're starting to sing a little.
Oh yeah, there you go. So Kiki's not Kiki. Terry says, Chad, just make sure nobody hits the remote like Denny's daughter done to him during the race. Can you imagine you get down to the last
so I'm in
lap? Jeez.
I'm in my man cave, and I got the door shut, so nobody in, nobody out.
Yes, lock the door. You can't come in here.
That's it.
Rachel says we miss you here. Yeah, so.
Oh,
Yep. So we'll
I'm
get
so
together.
happy for Rachel to see Brad win.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought about when he won. It's like, well, that'd be Rachel will be happy about that. She'll be fired up. So first thing this morning, she sent me a text. We're going to talk about Brad's win.
Absolutely.
So that's why I kind of,
Oh yeah.
I blew through the little Darlington race thing. You know, kind of. It's like, no, I want to get on to the Charlotte race.
Get to the grits.
Get to the,
Understood.
much better than talking about Denny Hamlin. Much better talk about Brad. You know. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, Chad. Well, it's good talking to you, buddy. And good
Thanks for
I
calling
appreciate
us.
it, everyone.
Yeah.
We
Oh, yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for calling, and good luck to you tomorrow evening.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hope everybody has a good rest of their day.
All right, you too, buddy. See you.
All
bye.
right.
See you. Bye.
Thanks, Chad.
Bye.
All right, very cool. Chad Hyder right there from Ohio tuning in and give us a call there. So very cool. We just need to take turns with each of our listeners calling in one at a time from week to week. Just say, hey, we're going to have our guest caller in today, Rachel Rodman, because I know Rachel called one time, but we didn't hear her because this was in the new studio, so I got everything figured out with the computer and all. But when she was in here last time, we couldn't hear, or she called in, but I got it now. Dickie Dennis says that's a cardinal. That must be a cardinal.
He's got the birds chirps.
You know, Dickie spends a lot of time with nature,
He does.
so he would know.
He's got the birds down pat.
Yeah, RD says, Chad, we'll look for your link in the Facebook site. Night All building is running. off and running. So, all right. Good to see you, RD. Thanks for tuning in there. All right. Anybody got any questions, comments? And we're going to probably wrap it up here in just a second. And maybe we'll get home and watch the race. Okay.
Scott says Kyle Busch stage 1 winner.
Oh, go figure. Well, all right. I might actually go home and watch a little bit of the race. It's still kind of like the weekend still.
Not for me.
Yeah.
I guess maybe kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. You're an extended long weekend. All right. So, who do y'all think is going to win the race? Probably, I'll just go ahead and say Kyle Busch, most likely. So, Terry says Chad needs a T-shirt with the number 21 Hamm the Engine Man car on it. Oof, that's a good idea. Maybe I should design one of those with my logo. If you haven't seen the logo, it's on my website actually. DHamIM. You can see my Hamm the Engine Man logo. And I've actually got some T-shirts, but they say David Hamm, the Engine Man. But it's all good. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thank you much.
And we will see y'all next Monday evening at 7:30. So enjoy that Xfinity race. Don't forget to hit the like on this video if you'd like. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down twice, please. Thank you very much. It has more meaning that way. Otherwise,
Whatever
check out
that means.
DHamIM.com and I'll explain to you here in just a minute.
I understand.
Yeah, and check me out on Twitter. Give me a follow, and I'll follow you back and all that good stuff. And we keep up with NASCAR a lot of times. I know Tom Robinson's really big on Twitter, and Chad Hutter, and let's see who else. I don't see Dickie on there, or Rachel's on there too. So, yes, thank y'all, and we'll see y'all next time. And thanks everybody so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Have a good night.